Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Kelsey. I'm Kelsey Yogi here on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, helping you get on your hands and feet on your mat, working out, finding your yoga. All right, so today I had a request for working on that forward jump through and the jump back. Today we're going to focus just on the jump through because that in itself is a really big task. It can take a very, very long time to accomplish. And so we're going to focus on just that half of it as you know, my jump back can be a little elusive at times too. It's super, super tough. So I'm gonna work on what I know best, and that is the jump through. And that requires a lot of strength. It looks like it should be this easy little, pshoo, you just slide right through your arms, you're sitting down, here we go. But to jump through, there has to be a lot of strength, a lot of protraction, so that rounding through these shoulder blades, you don't wanna jump through. We gotta create as much space as we possibly can. And a lot of people are like, my arms aren't long enough, I can't do it. But Keena McGregor says that your arms are long enough. So draw your knees in, hug them. Do your arms reach past your shins? Your arms are long enough, you can do it. And so most of us are very capable. It's just really hard and it takes a lot of time. So today we're gonna do some drills, get you super strong through the core, through the shoulders, the back. That way that you can jump through, creating a lot of space. So let me throw my hair up. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I've got about 8 or 9 drills that we're going to do that may not seem like they're exactly working the same shape as your jump through, but we're building the same muscles and creating that kind of inner awareness. So we're gonna start off in a downward facing dog, moving into plank, and then pump the knees in. When you pump the knees in, make sure that you're really using not just the strength of your leg to pull it as close as you can to the belly, but engaging the core, engaging the leg. As you do so, really pushing out of the shoulders, always, always. I never want you dumping and getting tired, but a lot of strength, a lot of push the whole time. When you start to lose that push, that rounding, maybe it's time for a little bit of break. Come back when your form is ready. So, all right, let's jump into that first one. We've got 1 minute on us. So like I said, we're gonna start in down dog, shift forward, knees in, back to down dog, shift, pump, all right? You can alternate which side you start with, right leg, then left leg, but we got a minute ahead of us. Don't have a fancy timer yet, but we don't need that to do the work, so let's just go ahead and get started. I'm gonna do 1 minute, 3 seconds, that way I have a minute to get in my down dog. And here we go. Downward facing, shift forward to plank, pump, pump. That down dog is a tiny break for you, but you don't stop the push. Gives you that little bit of a rest because when you're in downward facing dog, half of the weight goes back into your legs rather than over your shoulders. Halfway. Really focus on pull, pull. And as you do, up, up. No lazy legs like this. We really want to make them active. Because if they're going to be able to jump through, they gotta get really tight. Take away any extra space. That way there's room to shimmy through and sit down. 5 seconds. Last one. And there's the timer. Okay. So on the next one, we are going to hold in a plank position, sort of. So the upper body is going to be in plank, but instead of the feet way back here, we're gonna walk the feet up really close and cross the ankles. So you're on the tops of your toes, really pushing out of the shoulders, rounding that upper back. Halfway through, we're gonna jump back for just a second, jump back forward again, cross the ankles in the opposite direction. Okay, whew. All right, we're already getting warm. Let's keep that heat coming. Are you ready? I'm gonna start with my right ankle in front, and then I'll switch to my left ankle. So how about I give us a minute and 10 seconds this time? That way we have that extra 10 in order to not only get into the first posture, but then correct and switch to the second side. So minute 10 is set. Let's do it. So get in that plank, walk the right foot up, tops the toes, left foot up, tops the toes, push and hold. Sometimes these static holds like this can be harder, more challenging than the positions where we are free to move. We're forced to just settle in and think and hold, focus and breathe. So if you're feeling this through your feet, you are definitely not alone. Don't worry about that. It will get easier with time. 10 more seconds here. Maybe not even, let's say 5, 4, 3, 2, let's step back. All right, left in front. Woo, definitely the harder way. I'm not sure why, but this side is definitely more challenging. Keep pushing. Pull that belly button towards the spine. Round the upper back. Press down at the base of your index finger and thumb. You are so close. 15 seconds. Keep going. 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Oh, there's the timer. That was tough, right? Calming breath. Slow your breath. Slow your mind. That slowing, that calming is definitely a choice. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna skip my list around a little bit. I'm gonna move into something more core related, give the arms, the shoulders a little bit of a break. So the next one that we're going to do is we're just gonna sit. You're just gonna sit like you're starting in boat pose, and you're gonna draw your knees in, hug them really close. You found your sit bones, you can balance here, and you're gonna cross your ankles. Really, it's even more so, it's like your shins. So ankles would be way down here. I want you to cross as high as you can on the ankles as you're able. And then we're just going to push away this imaginary wall. And as you do, as you push away, you're also going to be drawing the thighs very, very close to the low belly and the chest. All right, so there is this little bit of rounding through the back, just like before, but we're also sitting up nice and straight, lifting the chest. So we're going to do that 1 minute, 10 seconds again, 30 seconds on each side. We're gonna cross halfway, switching the ankles, the shins, in the middle. Oh, I'm talking too much, I'm out of breath, but let's just do it. All right, get that balance, here we go. Draw the ankles, the shins in, get them crossed. I like to even find that compression and hold. Gotta bring that timer in where I can see it and pushing away. Really thinking of not only using the abs to draw the thighs in, but the hip flexors, activating the legs, getting as nice and tight in this ball shape as we can, because like Kino said, if we can fit into this shape, we can jump through. So holding it, staying nice and calm. All right, 2 more seconds, and then we switch, release, pull it right back in. This side is definitely harder for me. I think my left hip flexor is probably a bit weaker than my right, but we always gotta work both sides, finding that balance, that equanimity. And how do we get stronger on that second side if we don't just do it, right? Yeah, we gotta be in it. 10 seconds left. Keep drawing it in. If you started to relax, push it these last couple of seconds. 3, 2, 1. Whew. There we go. If you need a little bit of up dog, cobra, something like that, you know, roll over the feet, step back, stretch out those hip flexors. Woo. Stretch out the low belly. Take your time there, maybe even look over each shoulder. If you need a little bit of wrist stretch through this, palms up, backs of the hands down, maybe sit back a little bit, give yourself that traction. So the wrists definitely take a lot of pressure while we're working on our hands. So whether you're playing down dog, your jump throughs, these wrists were really not meant to be walked on into carrying so much weight. So we have to slowly build up the strength, build up the endurance, build up the flexibility. So when they start talking to you, listen, stretch it out, give them time. Had wrist injuries, they heal very slow. So always listen to your wrists, your elbows, shoulders. I love working really hard, but if your body starts chirping at you, you gotta listen. All right, so the next one that we're doing is a standing posture. It's like a really, really shortened downward facing dog. Let me just show you. So normal down dog is way back here, right? This one you're gonna stand really, really close. Push, push, push out of the shoulders, hollow out. So we're going to see if we can shift forward as far as possible. Maybe I'll drop down on the balls of my feet. And I'm going to push and shift forward. And we're just gonna hold. This one we don't need to do a full minute. Maybe we stay here for, let's aim for 30 seconds. If that's not too bad, we'll do 2 sets. Let me get my very beepy timer going. All right, here you go. Yeah, 30 seconds. If it's not too bad, we'll do a second set. All right, here we go. Hands down,
push, and shift forward. Again, make sure that you are really pressing down at the base of that pointer finger. Pull your belly in. Push out of the shoulders as your ears and your shoulders meet, and then shift a little bit more. Engage the legs. Muscles hugs towards the bones. Really super strong shape. We got 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, come down, maybe a yoga squat. Take a nice, slow, calming breath in and out through the nose. And slow your breath so that you don't get dizzy. That was a long time to have your head down. Let's do that one more time. It wasn't too bad, right? That hollow shape is super important because as you jump through, you're going to really have to not only compress, but get very, very hollow. Tuck everything in as tight as you possibly can. So let's do it again. Maybe even 3 times. My teacher says that you learn things. Your body learns them when you do them in sets of 3s. So gosh, I think we just signed up for 3. If you're super new to this and this is killing you, do what you can. 15 seconds, if you're there for it, that's still amazing. So let's just do what we can. 30 seconds is set. Let's go to it. I guess we have 3 to do. Sometimes that's how I figure things out. I like to have my feet together, but if you're really, really wobbly to have your feet hips width, that's cool, that's all right. You could come all the way up on your tiptoes if you're super bad, eh? But you might get a foot cramp, as I am. So I'm gonna stay on the balls of my toes and focus on the shoulders and the protraction of the shoulder blades. Belly pulls in, really hollow out through the belly. Lift the hips up super high. Wow, that went by fast. Maybe because I was talking the whole time. All right, so again, calm. If you're getting dizzy going up and down and up and down, you may not have drank enough water today to keep your blood pressure up. So, you know, you could call it a day right now, go drink your water or give yourself a 5-minute break, come back at it. But if you're feeling like that lightheadedness, that's a really good indicator. You gotta drink your water. All right, so we got 1 more set, sets of 3s. We can do it. It actually takes us over a minute. We'll be at 90 seconds, so how awesome are we? Let's do it. All right, timer is set. Hands down. Here we go. Shift, push. Shift, push, and breathe. Shift, push, and breathe. Pull the belly in. Push out of those shoulders. You got it. Stay strong. 3 seconds. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. Slowly down. And that breath. Always, always coming back to that breath. All right, let's do another shoulder thing, another upper back thing, and then we'll go back to the abs again. So, pike push-ups. We can do it. So this time, we're gonna do something different. I'm not gonna use the timer. We're gonna do 5 to 1. So we're gonna do 5 pike push-ups. Hold that downward facing dog for 5 seconds, 4 pike push-ups. Hold it for 4 seconds, 3, hold it for 3 seconds. You get the idea. So what is that gonna be? 4, that's 9, 12, 14, that's 15. That took me too long to figure out. So 15 pike push-ups. Again, if you are not there, you do what you can, and that is not a failure. That's process, that's you working towards your end goal. You're doing it. All right, so a couple of recommendations. Very new to it, you can open the feet wider. You can also walk the feet a little further away. The closer you are, the harder it will be. The closer your feet are to each other, the harder it will be. So find what's best for you. Another option too is that you don't have to drop the head all the way to the ground. So maybe your pike push-up only looks like that, and you just go halfway. That's totally acceptable. Alrighty, so, yep, no timer. We don't need it. We're gonna do it. Let's start with 5. Here we go. Shift, drop the head, push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rest for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have 4. 1, 2, 3. One more. 4. Rest for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we got 3. We're getting there. 1, 2, and 3. Rest for 3. 1, 2, 3. Just 2 this time. 1, 2. Rest for 2. 1, 2. All right, last one. We got it. And 1. All right, nice job. So if those are really tough, know that those are really tough. So just do your best. Don't feel discouraged or overwhelmed if you weren't quite there yet. It takes time and practice, that consistency. So just keep showing up. Mine weren't all perfect. Just accept where you are, let the rest go. All right, so now we got some hollow hold crunches. So we are going to come into a little bit of this hollow shape. Tuck it in really tight. Hollow, tight. Because we need that tight shape when we go to jump through. All right, let's get that minute set. Oh, I had it on 30 seconds. We're getting there. Could have just hit the minute button. All right, here we go. All right, hollow hold, tuck it in. Let's do it. Hollow, squeeze. Hollow, squeeze. As you get hollow, pull the belly button towards the floor. You don't have to move like this crazy speed demon. Move at the pace that you can. Oh, I was not focusing enough on my tuck, so as I come in, I'm gonna really squeeze the thighs towards the chest. And if this is still challenging for you too, use a little bit of help from the arms. Just a little, just kind of lifting the legs to you if you need that. That way you can be successful. 15 more seconds. Keep going. Last 3, 2, and 1. There we go. You guys are getting so close. You're doing really good work. We're almost there. What do we got next? All right, so this one's not too bad. It's another static hold. I'm gonna put a minute on our timer. And we're going to focus on just crunching, squeezing into a really tight ball for a whole minute. So I'm gonna come down on my forearms. If you need to grab opposite forearms, or opposite elbows, sorry, to check your shoulders with, go ahead, and then palms down flat again. Some people really need to interlace their fingers, but I don't want you to. And normally I'm like, I don't care, do what you gotta do. But because we're working on jumping through, you have to be able to keep your hands down on the floor. You can't interlace them, otherwise how do you jump through? So we're gonna have to get used to doing things maybe a different way. All right, so forearms are down. I'm gonna walk the feet in as much as I can. Tops of the toes. I got my knees to my chin. And I'm just gonna hold, all right? Not gonna be able to see good. So I'm just gonna have to listen for that timer, get into position if you're not already there. 3, 2, and 1, let's do it. Force to find that protraction through the shoulder blades. Forced to engage the core to lift the knees. Halfway-ish, almost. If you're hurting and you're overwhelmed, count 1, 2, get to 10, do it again. You don't have to do the whole minute right this second. You just have to do these few seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, count with me, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 more, we got 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That one was harder than it looked, yeah? If you're cramping through your quads at all, you can always sit in that hero's pose, Virasana. Kind of lean back, stretch out your quads a little bit. That feels really good. Try to keep your legs somewhat parallel if you're able. It's tough. All right, we got one more, and this one's a little bit more cardio. We're gonna do some donkey kicks. So I'm gonna put the timer up for a minute, and we're just gonna handstand donkey kick. You don't have to have your hands, or I'm sorry, your hips perfectly over your shoulders. Get the hips as high as you can, and I really want you to focus on pushing out of the shoulders the whole time, okay? So here is my minute. Give myself 3 seconds to get there. All right, here we go. 1 minute is set, and I'm just gonna jump. And I'm gonna keep the legs open rather than together, so it's a little bit more like donkey legs rather than a tuck position. You can grip with your fingers if you feel like you're going to go too far. Keep pushing, that's the focus. "20 seconds left. Last 10. There's the timer. Whew. So after that little compressed hold, those donkey kicks were tough. So that is it for the drills. You're warmed up, right? Me too. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is go over the steps, the phases of your jump through. Now, if I've gone on way too long and you're like, yeah, Kelsey, I have a nice little compressed version on my reels on Instagram and on TikTok where you only have to watch it for 1 minute. But if you want the full version, hang in there with me. So there's lots of jumping through and jumping back, especially in Ashtanga. And my recommendation, if you're not injured, try for everyone. Try. That is going to build so much strength and endurance. And if you can't, and it looks like a mess, it's all right, it doesn't matter. The point was that you put in the work. It's going to come along. So unless you're hurting, your wrist is getting messed up, your shoulder's all a mess, then be smart, don't do it. But if you're just tired, do it anyway, all right? So in the beginning, you've done your vinyasa, you're back in downward facing dog. Now we're gonna jump through. Walk the right foot up to the left wrist, tops of the toes. Now do the opposite, left ankle, left toes to the right wrist. Push, keep pushing. So many people start to dump and that's where they go wrong. Now walk the feet through, sit down, send your legs out. That is your first phase of jumping through. At least try that. Now if you just do this little and you sit, you're not gonna build a whole lot of strength. Yes, you did the vinyasa and that's better than nothing, but if you can aim for that push, that hold, cross the ankles, hold, and set down, send them out. Slow it down, focus on the strength. Once you feel like, okay, I got that, and that shouldn't take you too long, let's move to the next step. So now, we're going to jump to crossed ankles. So the same thing that you did last time. Push out of those shoulders, make yourself a lot of space. Shift forward, really get that rounding through the upper back. Jump the legs to crisscross tops of the toes. Jump, cross. Let's do that again. Let's do it 2 or 3 times so you get the feeling of it. Push, jump, cross. Now I really like my right leg in front. I should definitely work more on my left leg in front, but not for today's video. So today I want to show you decent form. You should definitely work both sides though. Do it. Jump, land, cross. Hold it here, push. Now walk the feet through. It's awkward. And then sit down, okay? So as you keep pushing, hollow out the low body. Create lots of space through the upper body. Shimmy the feet through. So I'll show you that one more time. We're going to jump, cross, shimmy and walk, and then sit down. All right, so we got that push. Definitely not coming up on my fingertips. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna hurt your fingers, you're gonna hurt your wrist. And you are creating space, but it's a cheat, and it's a cheat that won't work in the long run because you'll get injured. All right, so push, hollow, jump to crossed, shimmy, walk, 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 walk. Send them through and sit down. Then you can take that little and move into your next posture. So you may do that for a very, very long time. That may be a year or 2 that you feel like I'm stuck in the jump to crossed and the shimmy. It's okay, put in the work, put in the time. Even if that's where you stay forever and ever, who cares? Who really cares? No one's like, oh, Kelsey didn't get her jump through yet. Nobody cares. Do your yoga and what makes you feel good in your practice. But if you're ready for more, let's keep going. All right, so now what we're going to try to do is jump with those crossed ankles and drag through. It's gonna be hard on this mat because this is a super sticky mat. So if you're working with a super sticky mat, maybe switch to your tile or your wood floor and put socks on. Then you'll drag those suckers right through and you'll get the feeling of it. So that's a great little tip or trick to try at home, is to use a slidey floor, not a sticky floor, and wear your socks. Obviously you can't do that all the time. It's just to help your body go, oh, that's what I'm doing. I see, I see. So bear with me on my very sticky mat here. So I'm going to jump to cross, drag those suckers through as I push the floor away. You won't see me dump for a second because if I do, I've run out of room. So shift, look at this big push, this big rounding I get. Jump, crossed, drag, sit. Might not look the prettiest, but as long as you keep that big push, it counts, and you're not gonna get injured. It's when you start to dump, it's when you start to get that retraction, that's when you're gonna get hurt. All right, and I promise the toes will toughen up, so if you're like, I'm getting rug burns on my feet, it'll get better. All right, so let's try that one more time. Jump and drag those suckers through. You must keep the belly pulling in, create space. You must keep this big push out of the shoulders. Think compression. All right, so jump crossed, drag them through. I like to shift forward first, going, yep, this is where I wanna go. Little bend, cross, drag them through, sit. Always coming back to that Dandasana position and then going into wherever it is you're going. All right, so that may be a huge step, and you may stay there another 6 months or a year or never leave there. Great progress, just don't pendulum. You don't wanna swing so much through the shoulders that you feel like you're wobbling in between. That also will injure your shoulders, so make it controlled. Think slow. Slow is hard because you're having to use so much more awareness, so much more muscle and strength, but that's the way to go. So if your teacher's counting like a crazy person, I say screw it. Go slower if you need to. Jump through at the right pace for you. I'm not saying take 30 seconds for a single jump through, but if you need 10 seconds versus her 5, jump through safely. Don't pendulum your body with your shoulders and hurt yourself. Do it smart, practice smart. All right, next step, Kelsey, you're talking too much. Now we're going to work on that jump through without the slide. So this can get really difficult because we have to have a huge amount of compression and a huge amount of lift. So again, I'm getting that rounding through the upper back, I'm shifting forward, that's where I wanna go. And I'm going to jump to cross ankles, but I want to keep them lifted. Here's where people wanna create all that space. Don't do it, you will get hurt. Shift forward, a little look forward. Jump to cross, keep them lifted, and come through. Now, I don't know if you could see from that angle, but as I came through, this was the shape of my legs. Not like this, but up like this. Let me see if I can hold it in between. Yeah, so legs are crossed, feet are flexed, okay? So let's do that a few times. And a nice trick too, which I didn't mention earlier, not only are the socks nice because they give you that slide, but you could use 2 yoga blocks. And I'm particular that I like cork yoga blocks because they don't roll so easy, but if all you have is the foam ones, use what you have. Cork is nice though because it's really solid. Now the thing with props though, like socks and blocks and walls, is people get very attached to them, and I see them use them for years. So don't get too attached to your blocks. They are just a stepping stone to help your body take off to the next position or whatever it is you're doing. Don't get attached. So let's do that again. We're going to jump to crossed, keep it lifted, and then we're gonna sit through. Big push, a little look forward, that's where I'm going. Cross, hold, go through, okay? And they may start to drag once you get here. That's okay, it's progress. The next step we're going to take is maybe to jump through and keep the legs lifted until we choose to set them down. So it's pretty much the same thing, but we're going to kind of jump to an L sit. Shift forward, big push, base of that index finger. I never want to roll to the pinky sides of my hands. I really want to press down at the base of that index, that pointer finger. All right, here we go. Push, look. Gonna jump to crossed, hold, lift, L sit, lower. Did you see that I didn't pendulum through like crazy, like that big swing? Control it. It all happens with the shoulders and the core. All right, so if that's where you've gotten to, good for you. There's one last final step that you can take to get your jump through, and that's maybe jumping through with legs straight. And not only does that take a lot of strength, because in these last ones, tons of strength through the upper body, tons of strength through the core. Actually, legs are very engaged because we're finding that deep compression, but then we jump through with straight legs and we add another level of flexibility. So if you haven't stretched out your legs, definitely do some Paschimottanasana, those forward folds. Get the back sides of your legs open. You can't ask this side to open without engaging this side. So really lift your kneecaps, engage your quads, a little internal rotation, push the legs down into the ground and fold. It's not a passive, easygoing stretch. It's active, and you're breathing and working as you open up the backs of the legs. After you've done that for a bit, you've got the legs open, you want to try jumping through with straight legs. I found the best tip on Instagram. I mean, if you are not one for social media, that's totally cool, but I learned so many things doing yoga on Instagram, and I'm going to share this one with you guys. Leslie Storms, that's who taught me. So if you go to Instagram, check out Leslie Storms, all one word. She's got great tips, and she's the one that taught me to jump through with straight legs when I tried for years and couldn't figure it out. She said, the key to jumping through with straight legs is keep your butt low. Quit trying to get your butt up so high, butt low. And I tried it one time with my butt low, and just like that, I jumped through. So let's try it. We're just going to slide it right through with the butt low. Big push, big shift forward, little bend of the legs, butt low. See if that works for you. I would try this first, maybe with the socks or a towel. That way you can get that slide, keep that push, keep that protraction and that hollow shape so that you have room for the legs to slide through. Let's do it a time or two more so you can see it. I have an Android, so I don't have like a really cool slow-mo feature here. I would slow it down for you. Push, hollow, little bend, legs come together, the butt stays low, all right? So, and then as that gets a little bit better and more attainable, then maybe you jump to also with the L sit at the end, little bend, butt low, L sit, and lower. You can also even jump all the way up into a handstand, find that pike position, come through and sit down. I'd show it to you, but sure enough, you know I'd mess it up and then the whole video. So there you go, there is your jump through. I hope that helped. Remember, consistency is key. So if you do this for 6 months and you're like, I still can't do it, please keep going. You're probably this close. Tag me on your Instagram account, show me your jump through. Maybe we can figure out what's happening, where you're missing the pieces. You've got to get that push. And that's usually where most people go wrong. They are not pushing, they're not rounding the upper back. Do your core work. Work that protraction of the shoulder blades. Push out of the shoulders and believe that you can. See it in your mind's eye. When you are at your primary series or your vinyasa, see yourself jumping through and jumping back with ease. It's easy for you. You can do it. Believe you can, and you will. Drink your water. You worked really hard today. Come back to this video. Maybe do it once a week. That way you kind of get that muscle memory. You gain that strength. You can do it, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me today. You did so, so good. Remember, my name is Kelsey here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you for practicing with me today. Make sure that you subscribe and follow. Have a great day, guys. Namaste.